Good morning, you two. How are you? Hope that you are all fine. Let's start our session today. First of all, we are going to revise the part which we have taken before, and then we are going to take a small part, a new part, and then we will solve only one page from your resource pack, okay? And then we will finish today, okay? So it's a small lesson. Okay, first of all, we said that our lesson from the last session, it was talking about the soil. What about the soil? Where does the soil comes from? Okay, okay. First of all, we said that what is the soil made of? If you found a soil, if you see a soil, what is it made of? It is made of tiny rocks. This is the first thing. And we said that it's made of dead animals and also it's made of dead plants. So the soil is made of three things: tiny rocks mixed with dead animals and dead plants. And then we said how. First of all, that the soil, it takes a long time, a very long time, a lot of time to be formed. Why? We said in the beginning the tiny rocks and the minerals, they break down into smaller pieces. So first of all, the tiny rocks and the minerals, they break down into smaller pieces. Also, what happens next? The dead plants and the dead animals, they decompose. And we said that decompose, it has a smaller meaning, or it has a meaning of breaking down. And I told you that when you go bigger, you will understand much more to do decompose. That the animals and the plants, they die and then they are buried under the ground and then they break down and decompose into nutrients. So again, the tiny rocks, minerals, they break down into smaller pieces. What about the dead plants and dead animals? They decompose into nutrients. Both the smaller pieces of the tiny rocks and minerals and the nutrients, they form the soil. That's why the soil takes a very long time, a lot of time, okay, to be formed. Why? Because the tiny rocks, for example, and the minerals, will they break down in just few days, for example? In few months? No, they will take much more time, longer time to be broken down into smaller pieces, either by floods, for example, either by the rain, by the earthquakes, either by nature, it will break down into smaller pieces. So it will take a long time. And also the dead plants and animals, maybe the dead plants, they will take lesser time than the dead animals to decompose, but also they may take a few months to decompose, maybe 2 months or more, okay, to decompose. And the dead animals, they will take much more longer time. So the tiny rocks, the minerals, they will break down into smaller pieces. The dead plants and dead animals, they will decompose into nutrients. Both the smaller pieces of the tiny rocks and minerals and the nutrients, they will make the soil. Okay? Okay. This is the new part. The soil has different shapes, texture, and rock size. What does it mean by this? That the soil doesn't have a one shape. No, it has different shapes, and we will take this in our lesson. It has different shapes. It doesn't have one shape. Also, it has different textures. When you make it with your hands, when you touch it with your hands, you will find some of it smooth, some of it is rough, some of it you can hold it with your hands, some of it no, you cannot hold it. We will take also this. And of course, rock size. Some of them, they have bigger rocks, some they have small rocks, some of them they have medium rocks, so they have different rock size. So the soil, it has different shapes, it has different texture when you touch it with your hands, and it has different rock sizes. So the soil, it doesn't have the same thing. Okay, okay, those are some types. Okay, those are three, and here I bring a picture of two, and here are four. So we are going to study four types of the soil, the four different shapes, four different textures, four different rock sizes. Okay, today we are going to take only two of them, and then we will continue the next session. Okay, okay, the first rock type and the first soil type, Okay, it is the clay. The clay, it's the first type of the soil. It has tiny and very small particles. Can you see? Okay, can you see? Here is it's much more clear. This one, it doesn't have water in it. Okay, so it has tiny, very small particles. Okay, what else? Water doesn't drain easily through it. If you put water in this clay soil, you will not find the water it's draining, it's coming down easily. No, you will find it, it's taking a lot of time to go down. Okay, you will find that the clay, it's protecting, it's taking inside, it's absorbing most of the water inside it. So the first type of the soil we are taking now is the clay. What is the clay? How can we differentiate between the clay and other types of the soil? That it has tiny or very small particles. Also, the water doesn't drain easily in it. You will not find the water. For example, if you bring some clay soil like this, okay, and then you put water in the beginning of it from the top, for example, okay, you will not find the water. It's coming easily down through your hands and through the clay soil. No, it will not drain easily. You will find that the clay, it's absorbing it. It's taking it inside, and then it will take much more time, or it will take a long time, so the water can go down. Okay, okay, the second type is the silt. What does it mean by silt, or what is the silt soil? It has medium particles. So the clay was very small, it was very tiny, and the silt, it is medium particles. Also, the water drains slowly in it. If you put, for example, water at the top of it, you will find that the water, it's draining slowly. It will not drain like the clay, no, and it will not drain very quickly. It will drain slowly. You will find that the water is going down slowly. It will be taking much time. Okay, so again, this is what we have taken today. The tiny rocks, the minerals, they will break down into smaller pieces, and the dead plants and dead animals, they will decompose into nutrients. Both the smaller pieces and the nutrients, they form the soil. That's why the soil, it will be formed from tiny rocks, dead animals, and dead plants. And it will be taking a lot of time, a long time to be formed, because this is not happening in just few days. No, it's taking a long time for the tiny rocks, minerals to break down, and for the dead plants and dead animals to decompose. Okay? Also, we said that the soil has different shapes, texture, and rock size. We are going to take in our lesson 4 types of the soil. The 4 types, they are having different shapes. Some of them, they are having um, uh, sh- uh, big size of the rock. Some of them, they are having small size of the rock. Some of them, they are having medium size of the rock. Okay, so they are having different shapes and rock size, and also the texture. If you touch it with your hands, okay, you will find some smooth, some rough, so you will find different textures. The first soil type is the clay. What is the clay soil? Okay, it is tiny or very small particles, and the water doesn't drain easily. If you put water on it, you will not find the water, it's going down through it very smooth and very quickly. No, the water doesn't drain, doesn't go down easily. The second type of the soil is the silt. What is the silt soil? It's having medium particles. It's not like the clay, very small or very tiny. No, it's medium in size. Okay, and also the water drains slowly through it. If you put water on the top of it or in the beginning of the soil, you will find that the water, it's going down slowly. It's draining slowly. Okay, okay. Here is page 60 in your resource pack. Okay, we are going to solve it. And this is all for today. Okay, question 1. Circle the best answer for each question. Number 1. Which is true about the soil? A. Animals cannot live in it. B. It forms very quickly. C. It is found inside rocks. D, it's a mixture of many things. What is true about the soil? Which statement is correct and true about the soil? Yes, it's a mixture of many things. Right. Number 2. What happens to the plants that die? A, they become rocks. B, they decompose. C, they become subsoil. What does mean by subsoil? It's a smaller type of the soil. For example, it's the baby of the soil. Okay. Letter D, they stick together. Which is happening to the plants that die? They decompose, yes, into nutrients. Yes. Question 2. Why is soil important? Why do you think soil is important here too? Soil is important because over the time, the rocks and minerals, they will break down into smaller pieces, and the plants and animals, they will decompose, adding healthy nutrients to the soil. And then what happens? We can plant through those soil if it is healthy for the plants to plant in it. So it's okay if we can use it in another thing, so we can use it. Okay, so over the time, the soil is important because they are adding smaller pieces of rocks and minerals to the soil, and the healthy nutrients is added to the soil, so we can make many things through the soil. Either when we take, for example, the sand, we can make the glass. The clay, we are making the pottery with. We are gonna plant, for example, in the loam. So we are having very beneficial things from this soil. Okay, thank you so much. Year two, I hope that you are understanding well. If you're having any questions, just send it to me on your Google Classroom. Okay, and then also, as I'm saying every time, I will repeat every session. Thank you so much.